Ah, Day, welcome back. Another unspecified amount of time, another character completed. That's just how it works. You know how it is. So, this one is the support tank warden. I mean, it's a warden. All wardens are tanks by default, so really it's just support warden nonetheless. Um, But yeah, so this was a build that I've been meaning to get around to, right? Nothing new, mind you. It's often, Warden is often regarded as the more supportive tank anyway, and going with the mixed passive and all that makes it even more so, right? But the main reason I haven't really gotten around to this sooner was because it's mainly multiplayer oriented, and mixed passive Warden has the lowest raw damage because Wardens don't get any attack per level like Berserkers do. And technically, Guardians get attack and magic per level, right? But yeah, Wardens have the lowest raw damage, and mixed passive lowers that even more. So, yeah, not having a lot of strength and will kind of hurts. That's why my health warden only has like 30 or 40 endurance because trying to get up to like 900 and something attack in magic is difficult without the extra help from the tree. So, uh, but yes, anyway, so support warden. Why would you go support warden? You may wonder. Well, it is a tank. Um, it can tank pretty much just as much as a guardian can. A guardian gets free healing, but wardens have a shield, so in solo, it's kind of the same. And of course, wardens have prominence from the tree, so so far, kind of on par with Guardian right now. What Warden has a Guardian doesn't is the shield. The shield still buff, which is quite amazing. It'll keep your glass cannons alive if they can hit, if they're the lowest health party member. It'll help you stay alive if you have enough damage to utilize the shield and all that, and any other like healers or sort of half DPS characters, they'll keep themselves alive pretty easily with that shield. It's pretty good. Combine that with the fact that you've got a healing buff on hit, so you can keep your shield buff active. Because you have to hit someone, hit an enemy, not your party members. Don't do that. You have to hit an enemy to get the shield buff going. And yeah, you can utilize that, and if you need to, you can heal other people. Really, so it's kind of on par with Guardian. Of course, Guardian can get concentration, which is a longer lasting buff, but Guardians don't have a free shield you can put on people. On top of the prominence damage reduction, because you'll take half damage for an ally, and that ally will, if they are kind of hurt, they'll get a shield. So, again, it's a really strong tank option. If you want to be a full on wall and just not die, you could go Guardian. But if you want your party members to stay alive as well, you would go support Warden, right? And of course, Wardens technically have much more defense and technically health than Guardians too. So something to keep in mind. Um, so I did it. I made one, right? This was also a test of sorts. Normally, when I make a build, especially if it's mixed passive, I tend to go bruiser, right? A mix of offense, defense, and heal power. Um, and something like this, builds that are made more for multiplayer often kind of don't mesh well with that because they would want something like 100 endurance for the healers and the tanks, 100 dexterity for the glass cannons and all that. Even though I'm pretty sure 100 strength is much more effective than 100 dexterity on a rogue, but still. Um, so this is mainly a test to see how well a 100 endurance character would do, made even more severe by the fact that it's a mixed passive warden. So I have the lowest possible damage. So I tried to get as much attack and magic as possible. Yeah, 322 base magic and attack. That's pretty low. Most of my mixed passive builds they would have like 450 base attack and magic, and then with some gear they kind of get up to like after the mixed passive calculation, they kind of get up to like 920, 930. 900 is enough for mixed passive because you have both damage types. So if you run into a physical tank, you can use magic, vice versa. If you run into a magic tank, right? Um, and I will say the end result is a little scuffed because I kind of got the two main things that make a warden, the regen shield and the shield buff, right? Uh, I got those two at the very end. It's a bit silly of me because those two make wardens very strong in solo. And yeah, there is a reason though. Normally, when I level a mixed passive build and I get to Grand Dungeon, I plan to have all of my mixed passive stuff taken care of. Right, so I would delay going into Guardian or Bard because they have attack and magic. I would delay that and kind of balance all of my attack and magic with my affinity points before going into Grand Dungeon. And the reason for that is because Grand Dungeon takes a couple weeks to get through, from 80 to 100. It can take a little while. And sometimes you might forget what point you put in last because it might have been a few days since you leveled up. So if you're balancing strength and will, last time you put strength, but you don't remember what you put in last time, so you kind of have to figure that out. Getting the mixed passive balancing out of the way kind of removes the guesswork. So I get the strength and will and the tree, like the warrior, rogue, mage, any path that doesn't have attack and magic. I get all that out of the way first, and then work on getting guard, bard, or usually endurance. If it's a dexterity character, I would get this dexterity because it doesn't interfere with mixed passive, right? So, and essentially, I decided to go into Guardian and get Life Surge and Wind Wall, and then later on I would get all this because Warden doesn't have any attacks, so I can put points into it without it messing with my mixed passive bonuses. So, uh, and I don't know if that was better or worse. Not having that shield is pretty pretty detrimental. But then again, Life Surge is a really, really good healing skill, and also Wind Wall, also a nice skill to have for any character. But I digress. That's why the result might be a little scuffed because I did have some trouble leveling this character towards the end, but it wasn't that bad. It was mostly just me running out of healing and health because I don't have a free shield and a free heal power buff. Mistakes were made. It happens. It happens. So, but yeah. So this is the tank set. I have to get a certain helmet from a certain dungeon keeper. But I believe it's multiplayer only, so it's gonna take me a while to do that because I don't really care for multiplayer that much. Hence why, again, I took me a while to make this character. And you may be wondering why I have this ring here, this Christmas ring, the elemental resistances. Simply put, you don't need to have more than 500 defense and magic defense. That's more of a guardian thing because guardians rely on their deflect chance, to heal themselves. Um, Monks, wardens, I guess those are the only two other tank paths. Don't really rely on deflects to stay alive, so they don't need more than 500. And 500 is because that's the soft cap. After 500, defense becomes half as effective. So if you bump your defense from 500 to 600, instead of getting 10% damage reduction, you'll get 5%. So, yeah. And I don't really know. I haven't really mathed it out. I don't really know the calculations behind the resistances, but they do help a lot. I've noticed. I played around with characters that have like 30 resistances across the board, and yeah, it makes you really tanky. So, um, that kind of helps with that. And of course, my my Kaizen belt, which I love too much. I probably need to see other belts, but not anytime soon. Yeah, it kills your earth resistance, which is fine. There aren't that many earth attacks in this game that hurt a lot. I could think of a couple in some dungeon keepers, but even then, you should be fine with some negative earth resistance, and this ring gets me back to positive earth resistance, right? But for solo, there's like no enemies that do earth damage that hurts, right? So it'll be fine. I decided to use the great sword and the staff just to give me some more damage. Because I don't want to have, because if I don't have these, I would have like 400, 500. Okay, I think it was 400 without the belt too. Okay, well, still 500 attack and magic, a little too low. I want to have some damage, so if I ever get the shield in multiplayer, I will have some damage to, steal some shield to myself. So, in other words, it'll help me stay alive, having a bit more damage. And of course, again, most tanks that aren't guardians, when they stop at 500 defense, they would usually just dump everything into offense, because you don't really need that much. And plus, a tank helping out with DPS is nice. I could use this as well, but I figured I would utilize the resistances from the ring instead, just to change things up. So yeah, that's the tank set, but this is the solo set. I've got all the highest possible damage I could get. Well, I can get in solo. I know there's some better pieces in multiplayer, but that's good enough. So I've got 300 magic defense. That's baseline bruiser defense for me. That's good enough, right? Nearly 400 heal power. That should be fine. 500 defense. I'm a warden. Wardens have a stupid amount of physical defense. So yeah, by default, like even without all this gear, I have 530 defense. I'm already at soft cap before gear is even involved. That's how bulky guardians are. Of course, wardens are. Of course, they don't have magic defense like a guardian would, but the only difference stat-wise between a guardian and a warden is 25 points in guardian, which is what, uh, 50 extra magic defense. Yeah, it's not that much. Let me double check because okay, yeah, it's two defense per point. Anyway, so yeah, there's that. I'm gonna give it a whirl. I haven't really done a run after getting level 100 because I was kind of doing other things at the time. I don't know if I. Oh, yeah, this is like one of those characters where I would want. Um, attack food, attack and magic food, but yeah, I probably should have done this beforehand. I did not know I was out of attack food. I guess I used some to try and level with. A bit strange because I don't usually level with uh, attack food or with any food at all, really. I'd rather save it for later on. But oh well. Well, give me a moment here. I swear these scorpions are rare, and I don't have another set, do I? To go into to go into the player-made dungeons. Okay, well, I could just go without it. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Alright, I'll use the other damaged food, I guess, if I can remember what they were. I think it's these two here. Yeah. That'll do, and I'll get myself a little bit more heal power. Because again, you can never have too much heal power. So 860 attack and magic, that should be okay. Let's give it a whirl. Don't want to start with you, though. I don't want to start with you either. Persistence, I'll give you that. Okay, well, I've got Fireball in Wolf Blow. I should be all right. Low level buggy chubby. Don't want to waste anything too much. I say as I waste things too much. Yeah, again, buggy chubby. One of the most annoying enemies, I swear. Fire Wind Shield, good old tank. Don't need to use Fireball on you. You're not quite level 100 yet. And it seems I have initiative. I don't have any agility. But I guess neither do these fine fellows, do they? Getting through these early rooms and... Okay, well... Yeah, as you can see, getting a fair amount of shield. You know, yeah, that's enough to cover any damage I take from Firewind Shield, which is a tank enemy. I am aware, but you know, taking no damage from tank enemies is pretty nice because they often damage you more than what a DPS character or a DPS enemy would. Because a squishy glass cannon enemy might die in one attack. And they might hit you pretty decently, but you know, that'll be the only time they hit you. With tanks, you know, it takes like 4 turns to kill them, and each turn they hit you for a little bit. And there is kind of a baseline amount of damage that they can do. You know, like they can't hit for 0 on you. As far as I'm aware, anyway. Okay, you've got initiative. I don't want to use another on guard just yet. So I want to wait until the second boss. Well, you're going to swan song away anyway, so let me change my blight to something less dangerous. Buggy chubby, alright. I forgot I had provoking gaze. You can stack that with wolf blow and fireball to get a -3 defense debuff on an enemy, which is quite nice for your party. And this is the folly of not having initiative against Buggy Chubby, because you never know what he's going to use. So yeah, he could use the muck fall. He could use Unsettling Stare. You never know. Well, oh well. Yeah, being very wasteful on this run. I should still be fine, though. I'm a warden. Wardens don't really have anything to worry about in solo. Haven't even. I forgot. I need to use regenerating shield first and then heal. I forgot about that entirely. It's been a while since I've played a Warden. Phantom cores, that should be just fine. Get a little bit of magic defense. Something I've been doing lately, I've been using fire skills on Phantom cores. And that means it'll throw bleed at you, but I've come to realize bleed isn't really all that bad. It is the weakest damage over time in the game. And it having high evasion tends to be much more detrimental, much more painful than just like 3 turns of bleed. Right. Probably shouldn't have used. Yeah, because I wouldn't be able to kill you there. Yeah, I didn't. I forgot I gave it regen. Oh man, I should have had some coffee before this. I feel. Oh well. Boggy Chubby. I used my regen shield in case I ran into a Stormy Eye because I don't know why. Lately I've been running into Stormy Eyes right on room 9 just to ruin my day. But that's fine. It's a very sloppy run. Very, very sloppy. I'm just throwing skills out willy-nilly. Not even planning ahead or anything. It's not a good thing to be doing, but it's working out. Yep. Okay. It was fashionably late. I see. It was stuck in traffic. I got you. Stormy Eye. Luckily, I have just enough damage to one-shot it with On Guard. The Flame Spark shouldn't be an issue. Not an issue at all. I'll use a Wind Wall to get that buff going. It's a long-lasting buff, so it should be fine. Golem. Let me use Unsettling Stare on you. The -1 attack and magic don't really do a whole lot, but you know it's better than nothing, right? And I kind of want to say these Icing Shocks for Windy Puff. So it looks like I've been burning through all of my Wolf Blows, all those Bucky Chubbies back there. And you're feeling a little evasive today. I gotcha. You need to utilize my deflects more. I do have like 600 defense, so with some defense buffs, I'm going to deflect pretty regularly, and deflects really, really help against Golem. Yeah, because the goal for Golem, at least for me, is to be able to kill it within 3 turns, because you get 4 turns before it heals, and there is a high chance that it's going to evade one of those hits. Ow, that hurt a lot. Okay, calm down. And yeah, making sure you have a fair amount of deflect chance really helps, because your deflects will hit for like 75 if you're a warrior, of course. It hits like 75, maybe like 60 if you're a mage or something. And that's quite a bit, because you only hit Golem for like around 200, so that's a decent chunk of your damage just for free. You know, Windy Puff. I don't think it can one-shot you with Icing Shock. Okay, I kind of can. I can't without damaged food. That's what it was. But I can with a little bit of attack and magic food. It's fine. Regen shield. Water Drop is going to hit me pretty well here because it's like the end of the road here. So these basic enemies are going to start hitting pretty hard. Of course, I'm a tank. Still, they can sting, especially if they evade an attack that was meant to kill them. That's on me. I keep forgetting to uh, counter in case they evade, because taking augmented damage is not good. It hits harder than burst damage, and it can do a lot of damage if you don't have a lot of defense for the thing they are doing. Yeah. Okay, Golem, you're going to heal on me. It's fine. I haven't really been utilizing regenerating shield that well. It's kind of been wasted a little bit. That's okay. Yeah, that's a 421 heal. I do have on guard reducing that a little bit, but heal power buff as well. That's not too shabby, especially since this character, this set doesn't have a whole lot of heal power. It has enough, but not exactly ideal levels of heal power, I don't think. But yeah, that was fine. I mean, again, I did kind of just, fall through there. Just went through it without even thinking. Oh well. Again, well, I guess that's just being a warden, right? So, you don't have to really worry about a whole lot. You got that shield, you got defenses, you got enough damage to kill things in a reasonable time. So, well, maybe not that last part for this character, but for a normal warden, yeah. Been working on some other characters, good lord. These things, these two knuckleheads are going to be hell. I mean, they've already been hell to level up. Dang, mixed passive crit builds, man. Anyway, so yeah, that's the support warden. Works really well in solo, as you saw. I kind of just randomly went through there, didn't even think about anything. Hardly even countered. It's not good. But it's even better in multiplayer because, I mean, wardens offer a lot to the table already. But, just having that shield, the high heal power, and, prominence all together can make your party very durable. Probably the only party composition I would have a glass cannon in is if there was a warden present, because glass cannons need more than just prominence and the late reaction heal sometimes against certain dungeon keepers, but I digress. So support warden, great path. I probably don't want to level as it though. Might want to spec into it after you hit 100, or just have like maybe 75 endurance or maybe like 50 endurance. You don't need that much endurance to be a tank because a lot of your defenses come from your gear, so it just helps your everything, your heal power and all that. But yeah, good character, good time. I shall see you around. Ta-ta for now.